All right, good afternoon, everyone. Futures Berzio here, quarter to 12 on Friday, Feb 28th, last day of the month. Hope everybody's doing great, having a good day. And just figured I'd jump in here for a quick live stream on the market. And obviously, it's Friday, so things tend to settle down pretty quickly here after, New York noontime or so. So I don't expect to see really much more the rest of the day, but let's just jump right in and see where we're at. If you do happen to jump on the live stream, make sure you jump in, say hi. If you're just seeing this afterwards on the YouTube channel, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment and question, and check out the Discord link in the description if you want to join. I'm going to try to start building that up again. Haven't been able to at this point, but I really haven't promoted it either. So, all right, so let's just jump right in. We'll start in Forex. This is Euro AUD. As I made the video last night, we were talking about kind of this daily high zone right in here. And you can see price has come up to there, which, I figured we would come up to at least these highs. We did have an initial reaction off of it. And now we're seeming to go back up again. So again, we kind of have this zone on the daily chart basically sitting right here. So again, I'd like to see kind of like what this ends up doing. Do we get a full rejection off of this zone and start heading lower? Or are we just going to chop around here and then eventually bust through these highs and go higher? Really hard to say right now because we did have a little reaction off of this earlier in the last hour or so, but you can see this level's held. So I think, now if we come down and take out one of these swings, then certainly, like if we come down and take this area out, then we might head lower for at least a temporary period, but this might turn out to be another support area. But again, we do have this very strong resistance area sitting up here, so not a surprise price has had some reaction off of here, whether it's profit taking or people trying to short it off of here. But we'll see. Like I said, I remain on the sideline on this until it becomes more clear. I'd like to see if it's going to go lower. I'd like to see, a definitive lower high be put in, a roll over and take out like this little 1 hour structure level. And if it's going to go higher, then I would need to probably see it clear all these highs up here. And put in a higher high and then pull back maybe to this zone again and then go higher. But when it's in this kind of transition zone right here at these major highs, then you certainly could have price chop around here, whipsaw in and out as people try to pick the top or try to get in at a low value area to go higher. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, as suspected, we did run up to this level. Now we'll just have to wait and see from here what happens. Hey, Castaway, what's going on, man? Happy Friday. So that's that. Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD's been chopping around. Typical Canadian pair. I mean, the Canadian dollar, I don't know. I go back and forth, to be honest, with even wanting to keep any Canadian pairs on my list. The only reason I picked this one because it's got the US dollar in it. So, from a time zone perspective, it's a good one to use. But it just, this is the kind of crap you see. But anyways, it does look pretty bullish. I mean, on the 4 hour chart, especially, we made this new high. We kind of pulled back. Now, maybe it'll come back lower. But, we did try to make a bullish push up here. And then it's kind of stalled out again. Again, it is Friday, so we'll see. But on the daily chart, this one, as I had stated, again on yesterday's video, this is sitting at basically all-time highs, or at least as far back as my broker shows. Here's the monthly chart, and you can see we've got a triple top up here. So that's why I'm a little leery about long positions here, because we did go up and challenge that all-time high and had a big rejection down. And so, maybe in the short term it were bullish, but this was such a major area. I mean, the monthly chart really spells it out really nice. So longs here, you got to be at least longer term longs, like holding them for a long time. You got to be a little bit cautious. In the short term, maybe we'll see this push up a little higher. It's still, like I said, on like this 1 to 4 hour chart, this looks pretty bullish to me. We've put a new high. We're kind of pulling back, rolling over gently. No real push to the downside to speak of. And every time it does try, it gets bought back up. Tried to run up here today, went down back to this low, and then tried to push up again. So there's a lot of push pull here right now. And so, like I said, for this one, at least in the short term, I'm still kind of bullish on this, but just keep in mind what's sitting at the top up here. And I don't know if I'd be holding bullish positions, long term here. All right, so kind of like Euro AUD, kind of like see what goes on. But if I did take a position, it would be a short term long, maybe come up to like fill in this gap up. We've got this gap back here on the 4 hour chart sitting right here. Maybe we come back up, fill the gap. There also is a big push down from here, so maybe there's some kind of imbalance right in this area. So perhaps that might be something for a target if you're looking for longs. But I would not be looking to shoot it much higher than that just because of what's sitting overhead. Swiss yen, again, continues to do absolutely nothing. It tried to go down during the Asian session last night. It did go down a little bit, basically went back to the previous lows and then pulled right back. And now we're basically sitting unchanged where we've been for essentially the last 2 weeks. So again, I have no interest in this pair as long as it's just doing this. So I'm not even going to spend a lot of time on that. GBP USD, I do have a short on this right now on my funded challenge account. And I did take a short on this yesterday, as you know. Then we had a couple of 4 hour candles earlier today pull up here. Looked pretty dull. So I went short here, right about in here. I actually took a short early this morning in here. Kind of got fooled on this one. I closed it when it started going back up again. So I took a small loss, but I'm in profit now from on the second take. And we'll see what happens here. Again, it is Friday, but I would expect again to see price push back towards these lows down here. We could, like I said on the video last night, at least in the short term, a push maybe to re-challenge these lows. If it, can get a definitive breakthrough here and down, then, we might see a bigger push to the downside, which also would spur, hopefully, that dollar Canadian to go up if it's being driven by the US dollar. So short term, bearish on this, at least, like I said, back to kind of this area here. And that's the position I'm holding right now. It's running into a little support because, there's probably a lot of buyers sitting around these lows down here. But I do think it'll push lower. It went up, kind of swept some liquidity above these 2 4 hour candles and then appear to be heading down again. So at least, again, short term bearish on the GBP USD. I am, like I said, holding a short on that, which I probably will not keep beyond today. I probably will close it before the session shuts down for the weekend. It's not something I really want to hold over the weekend. But I probably will hold it as long as it looks positive for the rest of today anyways. So that's the only position I have other than... other than that, not much happening. Euro, Aussie, and dollar Canadian. I probably won't see an entry on dollar Canadian unless it really starts to shoot up again, maybe. But again, being at Friday and everything, I'm very hesitant to do anything else with this. And Euro, Aussie, again, let's see what happens, right? We had a reaction off here, went down to this previous 1 hour zone, or actually it's more like a 15-minute zone, though you can see it on the 30-minute. It's a pretty short time frame zone, so I don't put a ton of weight into it, but you can see it respected it very well. But let's see, does this right here become a lower high and we start to push lower, or are we just going to go up and take this high out and move further into this rectangle up here? Interesting spot for the Euro Aussie right now. So let's see what happens. But, like I said, we could be putting in a lower high right here. But this pair has been strong for, really since, let's see, we bottomed out here about 2 weeks ago and been heading higher. So, you know, you have to respect the uptrend for sure. But again, that monthly resistance or that daily resistance overhead is definitely something to keep an eye on. So let's see what happens with that. All right, so on to futures. So on futures, the cattle did have another push down. We went up, swept the little liquidity. I was saying last night that, you know, we put in this higher high, so it was going to be interesting to see if it was able to push higher. It looks like it is not, and this was just, you know, a little liquidity sweep back. You can see it just swept these highs. We zoom in a little bit. You know, we had these highs sitting up here, and you can see price just went up and just nicked the top of that just to take out stop losses and went down. I actually am holding a short on this right now on my funded account. I did not take it on my personal account, but I did take it on my funded account. So we'll see what happens with this one. But it does look like the downtrend is going to continue. If we zoom out a little bit, you know, obviously a short-term profit target. This is actually where I have my take profit sitting down here. I don't even know if it'll get there. I mean, this market is only open until for about another 2.5 hours or so. So I probably won't keep it beyond that. I mean, I'll close it out, but it is still moving down. So I'm going to hold it probably until the close, and then we'll see what happens. But I did not take it on my personal account. I just decided not to, but now I'll probably kick myself that I didn't. But that's okay. I took it on my futures funded account. Natural gas continues to push down. I also took this on my futures account. So, you know, we just continue, although we're not anywhere near the trend line here. This is kind of like an internal structure move. So it's nothing, there's no trade on the 4 hour. Basically it was seen on the 30 minute with the moving average. We, you know, are obviously trending down underneath this moving average. So this is what I would call an internal structure setup. You know, the major setup is on the 4 hour where it tags the trend line. This one, almost this one. And then all these other little shorts here are just basically, you know, to jump on board the move. You just have to be cautious because at some point we'll see a bigger pullback, you know, towards the moving average. And these little internal structures can run out of steam. So you have to be a little bit cautious of that. And if you choose to trade on the shorter time frames, just, you know, keep that in mind that, you know, if you take it on a short time frame, you see one of these bigger pullbacks, then, you know, you could get caught in a situation where, you know, your market direction's right, but you just get caught in a bigger corrective move that happens. And of course you don't want that. So we'll see what happens. But I am in that short. And this is the DAX. This continues to chop around, but it looks like it does want to get its footing and go back higher again. You can see we held this area down here. I didn't trade this, and this is not one that I can trade on my funded account. They just don't offer it. So I'm just going to let this one go for the weekend, but it does look like it wants to try to go back higher. We've been in a big uptrend. We did have this big move. We did put in a lower high right here. So it did look like maybe we're going to get a bigger corrective move. But if this area holds now and this keeps going, then we could easily resume the uptrend. Maybe we start to get some kind of like trend line touch here. We'll see as it goes higher. I'm going to wait. I'm obviously not trading it today. I'm going to wait to see what happens as we get closer to this trend line. Do we bounce here and then, you know, start respecting trend line break touches, or are we going to just blast through here and go higher? So, you know, if you're going to trade this, I'd be more on the long side for the short term, at least to approach this trend line, and then we'll see what happens. I'm not convinced that we're going to see another big run up on this. Fundamentally, I think these markets are probably weakening a little bit, and just the way this looks right here on the 4 hour chart, this is, you know, pretty rough, and it is a higher time frame with a lower high. So, you know, so we'll see. But I do think we'll see this try to push higher, maybe back towards this trend line I said, and then perhaps if it's going to continue lower, that'll probably be the reaction point somewhere along this trend line. But in the meantime, we'll probably see it just edge higher. And then copper, I have been getting smashed on copper. So again, you can see I'm holding a short, which is now in drawdown. Again, it's a small position. I did not take this on my funded account, which I'm glad, because I would have taken a much larger position on there. This might still go down. It's just, right now it's just not doing much. It looks like a pretty dead cat bounce. I do think this will go lower. So whether I hold this, assuming it goes lower today, I don't know if it will. But whether I hold this through the weekend, I don't know. But it did try to push lower today. It did put in a new low, but then it snapped right back towards into the range. So we'll see what happens with copper. I mean, it is definitely respecting trend line bounces so far. But maybe, much like natural gas, maybe we get a move back towards it before it turns lower again. So we'll see. But I am holding this right now, and honestly, I'm probably going to end up closing this. Actually, I'll probably just let it run to my stop loss. It's a small position. If I do get stopped out, I'm not too worried about it. And it still could turn lower. This could just be a little dead cat bounce, and we get some late day selling here. So I probably will hold this. I likely will close it before the weekend, but I probably am just going to hold it, to be honest. So, okay, so yeah, that's about it. So again, for DAX, looking for short-term runs up, caution around the trend line. For cattle, I still keep a bearish bias on this. It's just very slow moving. And natural gas, same thing, short-term shorts, but just be prepared for potential larger bounces back towards the trend line. But I think we are, heading lower, and I think a good target is at least back near this 4-hour zone down here, which will keep us going down for a while. Even if we just get back to this 4-hour demand zone where we had this last very aggressive push out of this zone. So I do certainly think there's probably a lot of buy orders sitting down here. But I do think we'll kind of drift towards that over the next few sessions. Whether that's today or not, probably not. But we might see some bigger pullbacks along the way back towards the trend line. But at some point we'll probably see this trend line price intersect with the with this zone down here, and price will probably just make its way down. So midterm, bearish on natural gas. All right. So, yeah, that's about it, guys. I don't know if I'll be back in here today unless something really cool or big happens. But like I said, it's Friday, so probably not. And as I stated, I will not be around next week making videos probably at all. I'm heading out early Monday. I won't be back till Friday evening. So, I just don't see it. I'll be on the west coast of the U.S., so I'll have the time change difference and whatever. So probably won't be doing that. But if I do take any trades, it'll probably be on longer time frames because I'm not going to really have time to sit and do a lot of analysis. So I probably will have pretty limited trading, and just if I get a setup on 4-hour charts, I probably will take something. But other than that, I might just lay low for the week and not really do a heck of a lot of trading. But like I said, either way, I probably won't be around making any videos. So I hope everybody has a great weekend and a good week next week. I'll be back. Questions, comments, leave them down below. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're watching this later on the YouTube channel. And hope it was helpful. Have a great weekend, everybody. Castaway, thanks for jumping on again. Appreciate it as always. And I will talk to everybody probably in about, a little over a week. Okay? Thanks, guys. Take care.